Hi, I want to answer two questions today. One, who can contribute to an IRA and what are the deadlines? These are two questions that are often overlooked, and I hope this answers some questions for a lot of you. I'm Chuck Rose, I'm a certified financial planner in New Jersey, and so often these two things get overlooked. Who can contribute to an IRA? It's really interesting. It's really anyone that has earned income, anyone that here has earned income from a job or a workplace. It can't be just dividend or interest income. And a lot of people overlook that fact. No matter what your income is, whether it's $1 or it's $1 trillion, you can put money into some form of IRA. If you're married and your spouse has income, but you're currently working in the home without an income, you still can contribute to an IRA. That's called a spousal IRA, and I thought that would be interesting for a lot of you as well too. Even if you have a workplace 401k or 403b or 457 and you're maxing that out, you can still do an IRA of some sort. So there are different income limits to different types of IRAs. Traditional IRA is the easiest to contribute to. No matter what your income, you can put money into a traditional IRA. There are IRS income limits onto whether you can deduct that contribution to the IRA. And I don't want to get into that here because I want this to be kind of an evergreen type of video. That can be found on IRS.com, or you can call us or your certified financial planners or whoever that you're working with at the time. Even your accountant would have that information. Even a Roth IRA has income limits, and those income limits will change based on if you're married or not filing as married or you're head of household. There's a lot of different rules to that, so be careful. There are some traps. Just make sure you're within those limits. But the point I definitely wanted to make that anyone can actually contribute to an IRA as long as you have earned income. Here's another interesting tidbit. Even children can contribute to an IRA if they have earned income. So, if you're a parent or a grandparent of, say, a teenager, someone who's working over the summertime and he or she earns $1,000, you can even put the $1,000 in the account for them, but they're allowed to put up to their income, up to the limits based on their appropriate age and the year that it's having into an IRA. And that could really be huge for children, even if you just get started small. So what about deadlines? I'm making this video in January, and this is why this is coming to mind. Deadlines are interesting. IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. So typically, the dollars you put in count for that year. But something special between January 1st and the tax deadline, when you put your contributions into an IRA, you're actually allowed to backdate it to the previous year. This might help if you hadn't yet maxed out your previous year's IRA. So again, be careful with the limits, be careful with some of the rules, but you might find that handy if you want to try to max out last year's IRA and start working on this year's IRA at the same time. If you have the means and you hadn't done an IRA last year, you could technically max out the previous year IRA and the current year IRA in the same time, as long as it's between January 1st and tax time, as long as you don't go over your limits at all, which is super interesting. Here's a couple habits for success. Always look back. Why not try to fill your previous year's IRA at least a little bit? Even if it's small, it really feels like a win, and a win can carry you really far. These are really great habits to build. Try to have some sort of recontributing, kind of recurring payment into your IRA. That really can make some headwinds as well too for you. This conversation is hopefully something that can motivate a lot of us to look at IRAs, throw a little bit of money in, whether that's $100, $1,000, or up to the maximum, just to kind of supercharge your retirement savings and your IRA. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Please like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, let us know if there's any topics that you'd like us to cover going forward. Till next time, thank you.